Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're really focusing in right on the engine room of insight practice.
Sammāsati, right, mindfulness.
Exactly. And look, we're not just talking about, a simple relaxation technique here.
No, not at all.
We want to go deep into the actual mechanism,
Right.
the how-to of spiritual liberation.
Right.
So if you listening have been wondering about the true protocol, like the technical specs for how mindfulness is meant to free you from suffering, well, this is the deep dive for you.
And the sources we're drawing on today are incredibly clear, very precise.
Yeah, they really distill the whole path down to essentially two non-negotiable keys. First, sati, mindfulness itself needs to be sharp, quick,
Yeah.
and really consistent.
Constant vigilance, almost.
And second, and this is, I think, the big conceptual leap, you have to master separating the observer from the thing being observed.
That distinction is, it's everything, really.
What's striking right away, though, is how these texts kind of push back against common ideas about discipline, doesn't it?
Absolutely. People hear mindfulness practice and immediately think, rigid rules, specific postures, sitting for hours.
Stiff upper lip sort of thing.
Exactly. But these sources, they're very clear. The real measure isn't how long you sit.
It's not the duration.
No, it's the quality and the consistency of that mindful awareness applied to your actual life, moment by moment.
Your messy day-to-day life.
That's it. It's less about forcing stillness and more about accurately seeing what's happening right now.
Okay, that totally reframes it. So this high-quality awareness,
Yeah.
we use that Satipatthana 4 structure, right? The 4 foundations.
Yes, but flexibly. It's the framework. You're checking in with the body, kaya,
Feelings, vidana.
the mind itself, jitta.
And then mental objects, dhamma.
Right. As
And
they
that.
just pop up spontaneously.
Okay, let's get really specific then.
Yeah.
Because suffering, in real life, it's rarely just one thing, is it? It's layered. Right, let's unpack this layered thing. Because it's usually a stack, isn't it? The sources give that classic meditation example, pain in the knee, physical pain.
That's kaya, the body sensation. Simple enough on its own.
But it never stays simple. Almost instantly, other stuff gets piled on top. First, there's the mind just wanting the pain to stop.
Tana, craving for it to cease.
And then, because it doesn't stop, you get that irritation, maybe even anger.
Tosa, aversion. So now you've got the original pain plus craving plus aversion.
A 3-layer cake of misery, basically.
Yeah.
Now, my first instinct, my untrained reaction would be to just grit my teeth and focus on the knee pain, try to mindfully endure it.
Right, the tough it out approach.
But the sources, they give this really counterintuitive instruction here, don't they?
They do. And this is where we shift from just simple awareness into wisdom, panya.
Okay.
The explicit instruction is when suffering is complex, layered like this, you always start with the mind.
Always the mind first.
Always. You actually ignore the body for a moment. You turn your awareness towards the mental stuff using Jatanapassana, watching the mind state, and Dhammanapassana, watching the mental objects like that anger or irritation.
Okay, hold on. Why, if my knee is, like, throbbing, why ignore the knee and focus on me being annoyed about it? Isn't that kind of spiritually bypassing the physical reality?
That's a really important question, and the sources tackle it directly. See, the physical pain itself, it's defined as just a natural thing, impermanent, part of the body.
It comes and goes on its own schedule.
Exactly. It arises, it ceases. Your wanting it to stop doesn't actually change its timeline. The real suffering, the suffering we add, the avoidable part, that's the mind's reaction.
Ah, okay.
That aversion, the irritation, the craving for the pain to end, that tanha and tosa, that's what multiplies the discomfort. That's the actual cause of the suffering we create for ourselves.
So that's what needs dissolving first.
Precisely. If you remove that mental reaction, the physical pain just becomes, well, a sensation. Maybe intense, sure, but it's no longer a source of deep mental agony.
Wow, okay. That's powerful. So the action then is instant mental labeling.
Yeah.
I can't just vaguely feel bad. I have to name it.
Exactly. And quickly. You acknowledge irritation arises now, or mind has aversion now, whatever fits. Then you watch that specific mental tension. You feel where it is, that tightness maybe in the chest, that mental pulling away. You watch it as an object. Keep the observer separate until that not just relaxes, dissolves on its own.
I can totally see this outside of formal meditation too, like stuck in traffic, running late.
Perfect example.
The physical reality is just sitting in a car.
Yeah.
But the layered suffering is wanting to go faster, Tana, and then getting angry at the traffic dosa.
Right.
So the protocol says, deal with the anger first. not the traffic jam.
Precisely. Once that anger, that aversion settles down, once the mind gets back to a more neutral, accepting place,
Yeah.
then you can shift sati back to the body or the primary feeling.
The mental collaborator has left the building.
You got it.
So then if I go back to the knee pain or the traffic, now I can see it purely. Pain arises. Or it's sitting, moving slowly. It's just a thing happening. Doesn't need that secondary freakout.
It stops being your problem and just becomes the phenomenon happening, that depersonalization. That's the key to freedom right there.
Okay. But what if? What if someone tries this and their mind is just too all over the place, too buzzy, too scattered? They can't even hold focus on the subtle feeling of irritation, let alone the whole layered thing. Is there a fallback?
Yes, the sources definitely acknowledge that state. If the mind is too scattered for that subtle work on emotions, the fallback is crucial.
What is it?
You return to a solid physical base, usually watching the breath, kayanupassana.
Back to basics.
But it's not about ignoring the problem, it's pure stabilization.
Yeah.
Watching the breath builds concentration samadhi. It's like setting up a calm base camp.
To regroup.
Exactly. Rebuild the stability and sharpness of sati until you can re-engage with those more complex mental states properly. You need stable ground before you build anything complex on it.
Okay, this next concept. This feels like the absolute core of it. It unlocks why this all works, how we actually let go. We need to talk about separating the knower to aru from the known.
Yes, the object being watched. That separation is the mechanism of release. And to explain why we usually fail at this, the sources use a really helpful analogy. Think of the mind consciousness itself, jit, as being like a mirror. Its basic job is just passive. It reflects images, it receives them.
Makes sense. A mirror just shows what's in front of it.
And they observe the thought, the pain, happiness, anger, whatever. That's the image appearing on the mirror surface, temporarily.
Okay, mirror and image. Got it. But here's the issue they point out, right? The moment a strong emotion hits, that separation just collapses.
Instantly. For the untrained mind, when a powerful image like intense anger or maybe overwhelming desire appears, the mirror, the mind, it doesn't just stay neutral and reflect.
What does it do?
It flows into the image, it gets contaminated by it, it stops being the observer and starts participating in the drama of the image.
And that flow, that merging,
Yeah.
that's what creates the fundamental delusion we live in. I am angry.
Exactly. You stop being the awareness that sees anger and you become the anger. Or you think, this suffering is mine. The mirror flowing into the image literally creates the sense of a solid self.
That's the mechanical failure. The mirror isn't pure anymore. It's shaken, distorted by the image.
It loses its objectivity. And that cements the false view of self-sakaya ditthi.
Okay, so if the mirror merging with the image is the core problem, what do we install to stop that? How do we keep them separate? We need like a filter.
That filter is exactly the right idea, and it's the combined action of sati, mindfulness, and samadhi, concentration, working together.
They're the tools that maintain the separation.
Yes. Sati provides the sharp focus. Think of it like adjusting the lens on a camera. It stops the mind from getting sucked into the story of the thought or emotion.
So instead of following the anger narrative,
Sati just acknowledges it neutrally. Anger arises now. Planning thought arises now. It just registers the image without stepping into the frame with it.
okay, so sati is the quick acknowledgement.
Yeah.
Where does samadhi fit in?
Samadhi is the stable platform. It's like making the mirror itself absolutely still and steady. If you try to use sati to notice subtle thoughts when the mirror is vibrating, when your mind is scattered and unconcentrated, the slightest emotional wobble will blur everything. The image and mirror merge instantly.
Right.
Samadhi steadies that mirror, that mental background, so sati can clearly register the object without the mirror itself shaking or distorting the image when emotions hit hard.
So viewing reality through this combined lens, sati acknowledging, samadhi stabilizing, that's where the real insight happens.
That's it. The mind achieves neutrality, and through this repeated, consistent witnessing, the observer starts to see the ultimate truth of anicca impermanence.
What truth is that?
That both the image, the emotion, the thought, and the consciousness watching it, the mirror itself, they are just things that arise, stay briefly, and then cease.
They aren't permanent.
They aren't permanent, and crucially, they aren't us. They aren't a solid self. This repeated deep insight just dismantles that delusion of self. That leads to release.
Wow. So it stops being about trying to control the images that appear.
And becomes entirely about ensuring the mirror stays pure and still while it reflects them. Now, before we talk more about daily life, we really need to touch on the middle way again. It's fundamental to right mindfulness.
Okay.
The texts are very clear. This practice isn't about becoming some kind of masochist.
Right. It's not self-torture.
Definitely not. If pain, physical pain, is genuinely extreme, overwhelming,
Right.
changing your posture, shifting position, that is permitted. It's even advised.
We're looking for wisdom, not just hardship points.
Exactly. But, and this is a big but, how you change position is critical.
Because that could just be giving in to the aversion, the tosa we talk about.
Yeah.
Running away.
Precisely. So you have to know, am I moving out of wisdom or am I just reacting to craving or aversion?
How do you know the difference?
It comes back to our mind first protocol. The change has to be done with wisdom, Panya, not just blind instinct. And that means two conditions need to be met.
Okay, what are they?
First, the emotional reaction driving the urge to move, that craving for relief, that aversion to the pain that has to have settled down before you move. You can't move while you're still feeling frantic or angry about the pain.
Wait for the mental storm to pass, even slightly.
Yes. And second, the physical movement itself has to be done with sati fully engaged, every single part of it.
You mean like?
Knowing the intention to lift arises now. Then knowing the movement. Lifting, no. Moving, no. Placing down, no. Each tiny step.
So if the movement itself is done mindfully, it's just another object for sati.
Yeah.
It becomes part of the practice, not an escape from it.
Exactly right. It stops the mind making that connection. I felt bad, I moved, now I feel better, so moving when uncomfortable is good. The goal isn't comfort. The goal is continuous knowing.
Okay, this brings it all back to just everyday life, our schedules, which is where this really needs to happen, right?
It's the real testing ground.
And the advice here is actually really freeing. It's like, start beating yourself up trying to force these hour-long sits if your mind is just a scattered mess.
The sources say this explicitly. Short bursts of sati, genuinely high-quality, non-merging awareness, maybe even just for 30 seconds if practiced often, are way better than forcing long sits when you're agitated or distracted.
Because when you're scattered, you're just practicing being scattered. Reinforcing bad habits.
Precisely. You're training the mirror to keep shaking.
So the real goal, the essence of the Eightfold Path in action, is maintaining that continuity of sati, that quality of knowing in every moment. Walking, talking, eating, answering an email.
That's the heart of it. Relentlessly observing the mirror, keeping it clear, keeping it still, not letting it merge with whatever image appears, no matter what's going on around you. #outro.
So yeah, we've gone quite a bit beyond just relaxing today. I think we've really unpacked the mechanics for genuine insight.
That mind first rule for layered suffering is crucial. And the mirror and filter analogy, it just clarifies so much about how that separation works.
Seeing that neither the image nor the mirror watching it is fixed or personal.
That's the objective sight we're aiming for.
And that idea of continuity.
Yeah.
It really sticks with you. If the goal isn't the hours logged sitting, but the continuous quality of the knowing mind, that throws out a real challenge, doesn't it?
It does.
So we ask you, the listener, maybe reflect on this. What percentage of your day, realistically, are you letting that mirror shake? Letting it get distorted by the images? And if it's sati and samadhi that create this stability, that act as the filter, what's one small action you could take, like right now or today, to start installing that filter?
Doesn't have to be huge.
No, maybe it's just 1 minute of really knowing your breath before you walk into a meeting, or one single moment of catching aversion arises now before you snap back at someone.
Start small, but focus on the quality.
Start small, start with quality. That's the challenge, and that's our deep dive for today.
Wishing you success on the path.